11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. What a fight! I think Navarrete won it.
Juan, the Hispanic causing panic, Lascano.
And thanks to those joining us live and those that have joined us on the archive, the style here. I'm being joined by the one and only Christine Lopez and also Amelia Moore. How's it going, Ms. Moore?
How's it going, guys? Awesome to be here. Good evening. What's up, everybody?
100% Christine, how's it going?
It's going good, going good. You know, we just talked backstage how the days are busy. We need more hours in them, but you know, hey, we're here. We're good.
We're here, and thanks to everybody that's tuning in live right now. We got Eric Gomez, LT in the chat, Wheelchairman John, and Hawker Mustang. Shout out to you guys. So, let's start out with what happened last weekend. Navarrete destroys Sugar Nunez in what was supposed to be a 50-50 fight. Nunez was actually the favorite.
Yeah, he was.
Big puncher, favorite. It's a matchroom card. He's Eddie's guy. This is the guy that's supposed to knock out Navarrete, but a little birdie had told me that Navarrete hired a I couldn't believe what I was reading. He finally hired a nutritionist.
Yes.
And a strength and conditioning coach, something he's never had. I just saw a live by Timothy Bradley, by the way. It was like, I told you should have done it. And I can't believe I do it at the highest level. It's been a world champion for years, never had a nutritionist. What's going on, Christine?
He never had an issue, really. I mean, we know he did. Like, he would come in overweight and he was a little sluggish, but he still got the job done. So if you are doing what you're supposed to be doing and still living the life, then why change? Until he needed to change.
Amelia, talk to us about like what. How did that sound to you? Like a professional fighter, world champion, first time ever, brought in a nutritionist. Is this as rare as I think it is, or what?
I mean, it seems wild to me. I just I firmly believe that I solely don't know everything. That's why we have a team around us, right? So and then just on top of that, like, think about all the things that you've got on your plate. Like, you can't think of everything. So having an extra set of eyes, I mean, you know your body best, and really the nutritionists and the dietitians and, you know, your sports performance coaches, your mental coaches, and, you know, whoever else you have on your team and your squad, they're there as auxiliary, you know, and so you give them information and they help you with data. And it's just like, that seems wild to me, especially at the top. Like, you know, for women, it's so it is and it isn't, you know, it's not different. Like, the opportunities don't come that often. And if they are, when they do come, it's like, you can't let them slip by. So even for the men, it's like at the top, like, do you want something that you can actually control to slip through your fingers? That seems wild to me. I don't know. I prefer to take the stance of, I don't always know everything, you know?
Right. And it's true. And I just want to touch on a little bit too. It's like, also, you got to think about the team. So if your team is making money off of you and you're winning, they're not going to say, hey, don't eat that pizza. They're not going to say, hey, don't do that, because you always make weight and you always win, and the checks keep coming in.
Yeah.
So
careful to have yes people around you, right?
Absolutely. Who's going to have the spine to say, look, what are you doing? You know?
Well, look, I mean, he went years where there will be fights where he didn't look so good, but he would find a way to knock the guy out, and I guess it was working for him. But he did move up that one time against Baranchik, and he lost, and he looked horrible in that fight. Just didn't have the stamina, couldn't really keep up, and moved back down, then looked spectacular against Valdez, and now apparently he's adding, you know, a nutritionist. I couldn't believe this was like a thing. And he didn't look tired in the whole fight.
No.
It was a high action. He did his sub throwing. And he did not look like he was breathing hard in that fight.
At
And
all.
I think he'll probably be like, yeah, I like this nutritionist thing.
Yes, absolutely. I think so too. I think that loss really was like a eureka moment for him and the way that he felt physically, mentally, emotionally.
Christine, talk to us about the performance. What you think?
The it was like, okay, I was thinking this is either going to be belt to ass one way or it's going to be masterclass. It was definitely belt to ass. And we talked about this fight before, and we said that Navarrete, I said that he was going to stop him in the later rounds. Um, I believe that that's what we talked about. I really believed it, even though I knew Nunez was very, very dangerous. I did not have it 50-50. I thought it was not as close as that, but I did think that, anything can happen. It is boxing. But I knew that with Navarrete's awkward style, he was going to keep him outside. And these punches come from everywhere. I mean, these uppercuts were coming from, like, where were they coming from? It was amazing. It was an amazing, amazing performance. And you cannot teach that style. You cannot tell your boxer to mimic it or even teach it. It's so awkward.
I don't think it is the style. I don't think he knows what he's doing.
It's just his thing. He's just a natural fighter and strong.
For sure. Amelia, what you think about Emmanuel Navarrete?
Hate to say it, I actually missed most of the card. I tuned in specifically for Rahman Muhammad, who was on the TCL TBL team, and tuned in to find a live stream for his undercard in the prelims, and specifically tuned in for him, and then had a skedaddle. So yeah, no, my bad not being able to contribute on this part.
You have to go back and watch it just because it was so entertaining. And when you see Navarrete's style, how awkward it is, and then it's like it just is natural. You cannot teach his style. It goes against everything.
And I want to give credit to the doctor. That eye was messed up on Nunez.
It was.
And his corner was not stopping the fight. I don't know why they were stopping that fight.
That really pissed me off.
And I get that he wants to keep fighting or whatever, but
of course.
But the doctor, like, very rarely, like, a lot of times they don't stop it. And Nunez was telling me he wants to continue, but the doctor looked at his eye, orbital bone. Obviously, in my opinion, that's probably what it is. Couldn't see out of the eye. He's young. Let's protect his career. He could
Eddie
fight
was the
another
one
day.
that actually stood up, though. He was just like stood up, but like, okay, what's somebody gonna do? Because the corner was not gonna stop it, and it's just like shame on them. Like, if your corner does not love you like their own child, and they're not willing for you to be mad at them so they can save your life, well, you need a new corner, in my opinion.
That's right. And in some fights, we need new doctors. I remember the Tim Tszyu fight. He was cut right here, right above the head.
Yeah.
Blood dripping on both eyes. You couldn't see.
Yes.
And the doctor's like, totally. Throw him back out.
Yeah,
there.
that was crazy.
It's like Badu Jack, it was one of the worst cuts I think in
ever
history, and that whole fight just went on and on.
Went on and on. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you could see his brains.
What was the name of the opponent in that fight? Brown? Was that his name?
Badu Jack. Maybe it was Brown.
The guy that cut Bottle Jack. It was like
it may have been Brown.
I just remember because he cut Beterbiev the same way, like right there, right in the same spot.
Check the gloves.
There's something in that forehead. I don't know what it is. It's made out of something, but that's what I think. But look, Navarrete, obviously, in my opinion, best 130-pound fighter in the world.
Yeah.
O'Shaquie Foster is the other title holder in the weight class. It looks like him and Raymond Ford still have to fight, but we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah,
but
they were getting into it at the fight. Yes,
that's right. I have a theory. It looked to me like O'Shaquie was watching Navarrete fight and said, "I don't want to fight this guy. I'm going to go start beef with Ford," and because what a coincidence that's when it happened. But O'Shaquie Foster, Emmanuel Navarrete. I saw, speaking to Timothy Bradley, saying, it's time to put Navarrete in the ring with someone who can box him a little bit more, someone who's a little bit slick. And he seems to be fighting a lot of aggressive fighters, Navarrete. I mean, maybe it's time to fight a different style. Like, I get that he's been obviously very successful, but I think it's time to maybe test the waters against a really good American fighter, O'Shaquie Foster. Christine, do you want that fight? And who wins that fight?
That's a good question. but let me just say this too. We also had a third player in this triangle between Oshaki, Rayford, and Navarrete, because Ray wants to fight Oshaki. Stephen Fulton was saying, "Look, I'm a title holder. Y'all are counting me out. I'll fight Navarrete." So we've got that.
Stephen
So
Fulton can't even make weight. Like, I don't understand.
I'm just saying he put his name in the hat. To he wants to be considered, and he is a title holder. He said, "Y'all counted me out. I lost my
No,
title."
he's not a title holder anymore. He lost to Oshaki.
Well, he was. You're right. He was a title holder. He said, "Y'all
He's a
counted me
former.
out. Y'all saw former," and he wants to get in there too. But obviously, the fight that we are gonna want to see is Oshaki, and the one that's going to benefit Navarrete is going to be with Oshaki.
I want to remind everybody. All right, I want to remind everyone that Oshaki Foster versus Stephen Fulton should have been in his weight class. But Stephen Fulton missed weight by like 4 pounds or something ridiculous like that.
Yep.
Right?
That's why
Mauricio Suleiman stepped in and made it a lightweight interim title fight, which doesn't make any sense.
No.
Right? But now Stephen Fulton wants to jump in the ring and fight Navarrete.
Yeah, he does.
Like, how about you go make weight for your next fight before you start challenging fighters?
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but Navarrete and Oshaki, like, it's really too early for me to just really make a prediction, because Oshaki is one that can box. He takes his time. He's also always in great condition, and I would like to see these two difference of styles come together, but I'm not ready to make a complete prediction yet.
I'll just say Navarrete knocks him out. That's what I think.
Are you saying because Oshaki doesn't? Are you saying because Oshaki doesn't move his head? Is that why?
I seen Oshaki hurt. I seen him hurt by. He was hurt in Mexico. He had to pull it off, and he did in the 12th round. But that ain't gonna happen with Navarrete. Not with Navarrete with a nutritionist, right? Like, this is Super Saiyan.
This is the mark, the mover.
Yeah, no.
That's
I will
right.
say that I don't see anybody beating Navarrete, but then I don't want to just totally count Oshaki out. Maybe he's gonna do something new. Maybe he's gonna pull something out of his bag.
Navarrete used to pound Coronas and eat tacos.
I know.
That was his diet. He went in there and became world champion.
And
dominated
I heard
for years.
pizza all the time. Pizza,
beating up Valdez, was like a
people on the
totally
inside.
dedicated dude, right?
Pizza in the corner, no water.
And now he's got a nutritionist. This is like Super Saiyan Navarrete. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
Amelia, what do you think? Oshaki Foster, Navarrete?
I mean, I've always been really, really impressed by Oshaki's worth ethic, man. I mean, this guy, I mean, he's just, I've heard from so many athletes, so many guys that have been in his training camp that, there's people that cut corners and he just doesn't. I mean, he's gritty and he's in it. So I would like to, I don't know, it'd be a great fight, but I just really do believe in Oshaki's worth ethic and putting those pieces together and his whole team. So
He said a conditioning couch.
He also had a conditioning, which I left out. That happens to be a really big part of it too. Yeah, a strength and conditioning coach. So, there's always rumors when someone hires a strength and conditioning coach. So, like, it is what it is.
There's gonna be rumors in boxing always anyway. I mean, no matter what a boxer does, there's some rumor coming out of it.
Like, people will say what they say. Amela, you as a fighter, talk to us about the importance of a strength and conditioning coach.
I feel like there's so many different avenues. You've got that really old school mentality, and I think Andre Ward. I mean, they opened up the discussion. I think he had it on his podcast with Roy Jones, and they were just like, what do you think? And it seems like nowadays, it's things falling in the background. It seems that there's that big debate where either you have one or you don't, or they think that we're overemphasizing. And something my coach says all the time is that, you need to box more than you do anything else, because that's the only way to get better at boxing is truly to box. And
that is true.
I think that there's two lines of thoughts. Like, the more and more I've kind of dove into, I'm doing performance exercise now. I'm on my way to doing strength and conditioning certification. And it's like, the more I've learned, the more I've realized that there's these two branches, right? You've got this side where you have this S&C, it's grind, go. And I'm not really sure where the periodization is. I'm not really sure. It's like I look at it looking back, I'm like, okay, it was go hard, but like, what was the buildup? What was the actual build for this athlete? Because the nervous system can only handle so much. And then you've got this other side, which is sports performance. And I'll be honest with you, I don't really think I believe in strength and conditioning. I don't. I truly believe in sports performance and working with sports performance specialists. And that's where, you're seeing like we're working specifically with lactic acid threshold or lactate. We're looking at periodization where we're building that into where there's actual force and power production, and we're increasing endurance, but everything's very, very specific. It's not like lift heavy shit and go hard all the time. And I think that there's, you're looking at this old school where there's the road work and there's the stuff that we do in the gym. And I think that's really important. And I think that there's an aspect to, not having any clue what you're doing and going hard because it creates mental resilience. But when you get to the top, shit has to make sense, right? Like you got to be working with people that actually really know what they're doing. I mean, so that's my long-winded. Yeah, that's my long-winded answer is just like,
I would love it.
Sports performance and performance specialists are very different than just S&C. So yeah, I mean,
I agree
if you're going to be the best, you got to work with the best.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say I agree with that. I mean, like in the very old school, I mean, coaches did the S&C, but it was designed specifically for what was being done in the gym around boxing, like specifically. And now we see these strength and conditioning coaches that never worked with boxers, but they've worked with track stars, football players, so on and so forth. And then they're like, oh, let me do your S&C. And I have dealt with this personally, where one of my athletes was getting too much muscle, and it was slowing this person down, and it was not good. Then I worked with another athlete, and when they were on another box where they were on one of the biggest stages of their lives, they had nothing because everything was given to S&C. And then, when you're doing it 3 times a week, it's like, that's not necessary. It's not necessary. If you're going to do it, it has to be alongside your coach, like talk to each other, your own body weight, bands, the reflex, there's so many things, agility, hand-eye coordination things, so I totally agree with Amelia, and but there's a market.
Yeah,
there's a market. Oh, I have an S&C
because because I think that it's like it's a piece that's missing, right? Like we're looking at boxing coaches. It's very rare to see somebody who's the best at everything. We have Ross, who's Katie Taylor's coach, who is a incredible S&C coach. I mean, he's one of the, I always joke around with him, like, dude, you're the original David Goggins, he's just go hard but he knows what he's doing.
Right.
But, and it's hard for that. You got to bring people on, right? You got to bring people on that can take part in pieces that you're not proficient in. And so there's these S&C endurance pieces that we do in boxing, because I had somebody talk to me the other day and say, geez, like it seems as though boxers really, where the work begins is where you fatigue. And so it's in this like deep part of the ocean where, boxing is so specific, because we really, where that endurance comes from and where this muscle and endurance and this second motor seems to kind of jump in is really after we do fatigue. And then it's that second wind that comes in. But it's like, you have to work with people that, I'm sorry, track, football, baseball, none of those sports translate to combat sports, not at all. No. So combat sports are just completely different. And I would say, boxing, think about the periods that, wrestling to MMA, and they're not even the same round lengths or even, numbers. So it's got to be treated individually.
Different muscles to an extent,
1,000%.
Rolling around on the ground, standing straight up. There's a lot of different aspects. It has to be specific. I totally agree with you 1,000%.
One of the things that I've learned recently too is, you can only tax the nervous system so much, right? And the days that you need to perform are the days that everything else needs to kind of be built around. And that's really how I've completely changed how I've built, how I structure my camps, how S&C plays in. Like, how do you, my sports performance coach, Jin, he does a phenomenal job with that, where he's like, all right, boxing's the primary. We need to be able to support this, but also I can't, if you just sparred and you come in, we can't do a threshold day, and the next day it's like, how do we really build you so that you have the most power and explosiveness and recovery on the days that matter the most. So we're getting the most out of it. So we're not here to be the best at lifting weights. We're here to be the best in every round that we go into.
Yes,
Right.
yes. Yeah, and I think too what's missing sometimes and with these S&C coaches is they don't have the passion for boxing or combat sports. They have a passion for all sports and making the big bucks because they do. Just like with a boxing coach, your passion has to be boxing. It can't be boxing, Muay Thai, and wrestling. It has to be boxing, to get the best.
Like I know you were talking about what happened with Alexis, a fighter you're coaching right now out of Australia, and
Well, I didn't like mention her name, but
yeah, but you mentioned her last week. It's not like a
yeah,
secret
yeah, I
thing.
did. Yeah, I did.
But anyway, and that's what you were talking about, and I knew Christine in business when she said, I went to the strength and conditioning coach and I said, listen, right, and I okay,
sure
she
did.
let him have it, right.
I
She was
did.
bulking her up. She started talking like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Was it kind of like?
And we're no longer there. Just for the record, we're no longer
That's
there. I
good.
went had a conversation, and when things went awry, we were gone.
All right. Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like, I could see why Navarrete, by the way, not to go back to him, but why it took him so long to get a nutritionist, because he is so like I could just tell, because I know my people.
Yeah,
I
was
know
gonna
he's
say,
that
it does
dude
have
that
to
like
do with being Mexican too.
like he's that dude. They're like, hey, you get it, like, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I go 12 rounds out, I don't need,
Right.
you know
I'm
what I
a
mean?
man.
And like I think that's what it was. I just think he was just stubborn. I think he's like, why I've been doing it this way? Why would I change it? I
Yeah.
love tacos. Like, what's up? You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
and you could have your tacos after the fight.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly. That
Take,
machismo attitude.
but yeah, obviously very important. I think the nutrition is probably the most important part, more than likely. One thing I wanted to mention though, and it touches on a lot of what you guys are talking about, or you girls are talking about, and I hear a lot of like I hear it all the time from old school dudes, like, you know what I mean? Like old school. I remember even Emmanuel Stewart used to hate strength and conditioning coaches. He's like, oh, that's why we got all the PDs, because of the strength and conditioning coaches. He blamed it on them. Like, I don't know, like whatever.
Yeah.
But like it was just like, and they always say this, and it's hard to argue against. It just is. And we used to train guys that went 15 rounds hard.
Yeah.
We didn't have any strength and conditioning coaches.
Yeah.
What happened? And I'm like, well, I don't have the answers, but I don't know. Right. But then there's the other side of it, where Bernard Hopkins really credits a strength and conditioning coach with helping him in his 40s still become world champion and maintaining his body. And so I think it's more complicated than that. But I don't know. Those old school coaches are going to feel it's not needed because no one's going to convince them otherwise.
The thing that we need to stop doing as coaches is that we can't just like make a blanket statement and everybody's the same. We can't. Just like everybody has their own styles. Like when a boxer comes to me and they have a certain style, I'm not going to try to change them to be like maybe somebody else's style because they've won. You take what they have and you add to it and whatever. So strength and conditioning coaches have been proven to work for some and have not been proven to work for others. So it's just like a fighter by fighter, boxer by boxer situation, And it also goes along with the mental part of it. If your boxer feels like they have to have a strength and conditioning coach, or like mentally they're just like, oh my God, I'm not prepared, then they need to have a strength and conditioning coach. And then if you have somebody that's like, I don't really need this is what I need. Just like she said, sports performance coach. I love that. So she knows that's what she needs. If she has a strength and conditioning coach and her coach is like pushing it, she's not going to be right. So it's just really on an individual basis, in my opinion.
All right.
I would add in too, it's nice to have somebody who like returned to sports specialists, like injuries. And not like, I feel like that's been a big thing that I've started to have an awareness of is each of us, we have so much, we do so much repetitive motion over and over and again. And so there's going to be injuries or weaknesses and all of these imbalances that we have because we're constantly like sideways. Like my abs are more prominent on my left side than my right side because I'm orthodox all the time. So it's, you start to kind of have these things, and it's like, if you do have specialists around, like allow them to like exercise that option and that tool in the toolbox for, when you need it. But yeah, I mean, even so, like to Christine's point, also athletes, know yourselves. You don't need anything. You don't need anything. I mean, you can win a fight by doing body weight resistance, monitoring your volume and load, and getting the rounds in. But like, you also know that like you don't need anything. But there are times when you do, so use the tools, but also you're the key. So like, don't put too much weight in anybody.
We don't need Navarrete to tell anybody he doesn't need anything.
Oh, that's true.
But, so it depends who you are. Apparently he does. But what do you mean by that, though? Do you mean like if you know what you need, you don't really need a strength and conditioning coach? Like,
I'm just saying that I think so I was working with somebody else, and they were like, they had an athlete, it was actually a skater, that they were working with, a figure skater, and she was constantly coming in, and it became almost like a crutch where she felt that she couldn't perform without seeing these people. Like, I can't do this because I have to do this. Well, that's BS. That's too much identification with,
not good.
it becomes a handicap. And I would say you need an amazing team. You need a good network with you to be able to have longevity and mitigate those injuries, and have somebody kind of tell you to sit down, because we're all just bulldozers, right? Like, we just want to go, go, go. But at the same time, nothing, you are the key. Like, you don't, if you miss a massage, if you miss a couple S&C, like, you're going to make it up on the back end, because that's what your job is to do. Your job is to make sure that you are ready, but, I think just don't put too much weight into things. That if that's the key, no, you're the key.
I agree, because if you're winning before, and then you add these things and you're winning, but then you feel like you can't win without it. Well, you were winning before, and I said this before last time you were on, Amelia, and I mean this, and like, this is so true. Like, Amelia is one of like the number one person that I know personally in the sport that was so in tune with her body, with her mental, with the nutrition she needed, the way she ate, the way she worked out. Like, it was so in tune with herself and her body, and she knew exactly what she needed. So if I could like sell that, to other athletes, honestly, that is like, you're like number one in that category.
I had a conversation with somebody today, and they're like, God, you're so curious. Like, I was working with a PT today, and he was like, you're really knowledgeable. And I'm like, there's so many athletes that get injuries, or they go to, they see the chiropractor, in and out of the OTC. It's like, we go to sports med, and it's, how do you have somebody working on your body, or somebody who's working with you and giving you their time every day, and you just have no idea what's going on? Like, you're just, trust the process, but also be in the driver's seat. Absolutely. Because again, like, what if something happens? What if you are fighting overseas, plane gets delayed? Yeah. You're that nutritionist who's been making all your meals, all of a sudden they're not there. That's right. So, again, you can't lean on anything too hard. Like, you have to be the key. And it's weird to me when people, they don't know, like, this whole journey is about your growth. So, grow.
And we've even known situations where, somebody that you trust, like they're damaging your muscles, and they're like, with the massages or whatever they're doing. It's like, you have to know your body. Yeah. You have to know your body. So I totally agree with you 100%. 100%.
No, but I think might lose his next fight if his nutritionist can't be in the plane with him. It's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, but
hey, he better get this right.
You never know. You know what I mean?
You never know.
He better hire a couple of them. So let's talk about this. I don't want to call it a love triangle, but Ryan Garcia has been calling everybody out. Like, you know what I mean? Like first he was in a fight with Shakur Stevenson, and then he said, "Never mind. Haney's a bigger fight. More people want that fight." Him and Haney are arguing about who's the A side, and I'm the A side. No, you're not. Okay. Rolly jumped in saying he wants to fight Haney. Haney saying he's capped, send me the contract, and all this, then the third. Rolly saying, well, how about you send me the offer? And like, so they're going all over the place, right? And of course, Rolly beat Garcia. I don't understand why Ryan is not calling out Rolly.
Right.
He's the guy that
I
beat
would want
you.
my get back. Yeah, for real.
You know, but he's too busy calling a guy he already beat. So I don't even know, right?
Yeah, agreed.
But Christine, are we gonna get into these fights? Are we gonna get, like, is Ryan gonna fight Haney again?
Let's look at it from a business sense, okay? What is going to bring in the most money for these promoters, okay? And that's going to be Garcia Haney, because we saw Garcia beat the dog shit out of Haney, but then it was a no contest because he had traces of whatever it was. Austrian. I mean, like, was he wrong? Yes, he was wrong. You shouldn't have anything. But I'm just saying, it was not enough to really do anything.
He also didn't make weight. He missed weight by 3 pounds.
Right. But he beat the dog shit out of him anyway.
Man.
Like, I mean, Haney had no answer, no plan A, B, C, D, E.
Like, you don't have to say it like that. You can just say
he did, and we saw.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, you're right. No, well, we saw
like,
it.
Do you remember when he returned your Charger court?
Yes, I remember. He was very
and
nice.
I said he was such a nice young man. And
he was yes, he is, but he still got beat up. But so it's like, to me, you know, if I'm a business person and I'm thinking about revenue, then that's the one that I'm going to put together. Now, why is Garcia not calling out Rolly? Well, I mean, he probably still has nightmares, you know. And maybe he's not quite sure he could beat him. You know, he felt his power. I know of many men that have sparred him, and it's like, damn, that he hits like, you know, like he can hit.
Pal says, let it out, Christine. Let it out.
I'm just saying. So I think it's going to be a rematch. You know, well, I guess the first one didn't really happen because it's like wiped out. I don't know. So but I think it'll be the rematch.
So who's the ace, like you're saying?
Well, I mean, if we look at who beat who, but that doesn't count, right? Then you know it's gonna be Garcia.
I mean, you kept saying he beat the dog shit out of him. So
he did, but you know, it's nowhere in history anymore. It's like, you know, you have to go back, and I think it's scrubbed off of YouTube too.
It's part of that lawsuit.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's not there, you know. So
what happens with Haney though? Like, my question is, and I want to what you guys think. What happens if Haney loses? Is this the end of his career? Like, if he, you know, I mean, or is it this is a beef between the two of them and it doesn't really matter? But like, if Haney loses to Garcia
again,
and you know, I mean, Ryan might end up going on to fight Shakur, which honestly, I really want to see that fight. Like, what is going on? Like, I thought you guys were in it. But it's like, what happens with that?
That's a great question. And I do believe with I agree with Alapao. Devin is B-side, in my opinion. That's what I would say. He's B-side. But.
Well, that's an interesting dynamic because Haney's whole thing is, well, I'm actually undefeated. He cheated to beat me. He was on steroids and this, that, and the third. But if he actually, like, one, I just need to say this. I know that Austrian is on the banned substance, and I get all that, but that's, in my opinion, that's not why Garcia beat him. Like,
mine too.
Like, I stand firm on that. And Ryan, he didn't even look that good in that fight. Like, Ryan looked out of shape. Ryan looked tired throughout the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked way better in this fight.
Way better.
Way better. So I'm not sure Haney could beat him because Haney just couldn't see that left hook coming.
No.
Austrian is not going to help you throw a left hook like that. It just doesn't.
No. And Ryan has just gotten better. And Haney looked good his last fight too, but he didn't change too many things.
He did look good.
But he didn't change too many things. Like, there was no, like we saw Ryan really change some things. Like, everybody was expecting that lead hook. Well, he was throwing the right hook too. You know, he was doing some things and he was adding some things, some punches, extra punches. There was a definite change in his strategy, in his fight
Amelia,
game.
if somebody had beaten you, and then in your next fight you become world champion, they're a world champion as well, would you want to fight them?
Yeah. Absolutely.
We're
You gotta
women.
get that, yeah, you got to get that get back.
Hell yeah.
I mean, also that's where the money is, right? You've got two world champions. I mean, it's Canelo Crawford,
Yeah.
like I think we're seeing a little bit. I feel like there was a huge lull there for a while, but we're seeing some people kind of step up to make trying to make big fights. And especially on the women's side, like, geez, I mean, Michaela's like, I don't care. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. She's
Yeah.
like, let's make fights. Let's go Lauren Price. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's go. It doesn't matter who it is. So, yeah, why not? I mean, when you're at the top like that and you're fighting champions, like, I don't think it cuts your stock. Everyone's always worried about losing who gives a crap? Test yourself. That's what we're here for. Have an amazing career, have big fights, have good fights.
And you see, this is a female boxer speaking, and this is how women are made. It's like when another female gets us, we want to come back tenfold and get the get back.
Yeah, I'm not scared of
I see a lot
you.
of men that don't.
I made adjustments. I'm coming for
Exactly.
your whole life right now.
Exactly. Exactly.
Plus, I also think Ryan was capping a little bit about wanting to fight Shakur. Because he went from, all right, I'll fight Shakur to, you know what, the Haney fight's a bigger fight, never mind. Like in a matter of 24 hours.
Well, I think he knows that the Shakur fight will not happen next. Okay, so let's get the bag here and then possibly move on if that happens. He knows it's not, they're not going to just leapfrog to that fight. It's not going to happen. And there needs to be a build-up.
Christine, can Devin Haney put it together and beat Ryan in a rematch?
If the Ryan that I saw this last fight shows up, absolutely not. Even with the Devin that we saw his last performance, no. I do not believe so. And I also believe that Devin, even though mentally he looks really strong, I still think he struggles with that part of it,
Right.
What if he loses again?
Amelia, do you think Haney can make adjustments and win a rematch?
I think that depends on how things are going between him and his dad. I am on the outside, and it's the same thing with Ryan. If Ryan can keep his life together and he can perform well and, loaded, right? I think that there's a few athletes that are out there that the adjustments that need to be made are in-house. So, and bring in the great training partners in. I think that there's a couple things. I was brought into a UFC camp to give some rounds, and it's just like I see this over and over again. Like, people don't want to be pushed, and so I think that's where it's going to be. You make sure the house isn't on fire, and that everything in your own life is going well, and on top of that, like, you're going to need to be pushed.
Yeah.
Out of your comfort zone. Everyone gets so stuck on this identity. And I over and over again, it's what Andre Ward said. He goes, man, I'm whatever I need to be. So I'm whatever I need to be to beat you.
And going back to like some things that Bud says, it's like in sparring, you need to have technical sparring, and then you need to have some hard ass sparring.
Yep.
Like someone that is going to beat you up or practically beat you up. Because how do you adjust? So you need the technical side of it, and then you need that hard ass sparring. And it can't just be somebody you're going to beat up every single time, because you don't grow. So I agree about the sparring partners 100%.
That's what Christine likes doing shows with me, is some hard ass, like we get into some hard ass freaking debates.
You're
You know what I mean? Like she's on her game when she debates somebody else. So, you know what I mean? But
this is just tech work.
This is easy work here, but is it just me? Is like, I'm just not that impressed with Rolly. I just think Ryan had a bad night. I don't like to make excuses or whatever.
Rolly, he looked really good. He looked really good. Like, I saw some changes. He was throwing his jab more. Like, he looked really good. And if he continues to elevate, I think he's going to continue to grow. He used to just rely on strictly power and just hoping that he could land that shot. But I saw growth and evolution, and hopefully if it continues, then he's going to be good and better.
I'm just not that impressed. I mean, I'm just gotta be honest.
You weren't impressed with his
Like,
last performance?
I mean, he beat Ryan, and
But
I
he
just
beat
think
it.
Ryan.
But we saw some different levels, different layers from him.
I
We did. You
mean,
have to admit it.
I
Right.
can't get that Barroso fight out of my head. I just can't do it.
Well, I mean,
I just
okay.
can't. He was losing to a
Okay.
60-year-old man. Like I can't get that out of my head.
Well, the last thing to go is the power. So.
But what are we gonna do? So look, really quick, Christine. Out of all of those three, which fight do you want to see?
I mean, I would like to see the rematch.
Which one? They're both rematches, Christine.
Well, I would
Right.
like to see. We know the rematch I'm talking about, Garcia and Haney. I would like
I
to
don't
see
know what
that.
that. Okay, there you go. All right.
I would like
Uh,
to see that again. I would, and I think Garcia will put a stamp on it this time.
All right. So look, Ryan versus Haney, Haney versus Raleigh, or Raleigh versus Ryan. Which one would you rather see, Emily Moore?
Well, we haven't seen Raleigh with Haney yet, but I mean, I do also want to see. They need to clear this out. I know it's going to be a circus, and I'm like, I may have to just turn off all my notifications because if I see, like the last time, I was like, my phone was just flooded, and I'm like, I've had enough of you guys. Just fight, like, I've had enough. But yeah, I mean, Ryan and Devin, they got to fight again. They have to, and they gotta let's do this right, guys. No BS. Let's get in. Let's make it fair, and let's know for sure. Y'all owe it to each other. So, and let's put on a show.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
All right.
What about you, D Style?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see trial by combat rematch. Garcia versus Haney. Let's see. Let's put on trial. Let's see if it's true that it was the Austrian or not.
Yeah, I
There you go.
agree. So we're unanimous.
I just gave them something for the poster
Yeah.
if they want to use it. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good.
But there you go. It's I said the same thing when after the second Fury versus Wilder fight. Wilder couldn't shut up about how Fury cheated and he had an egg weight in his glove and all this other weird stuff. And I said, well, I guess we're going to find out in the third fight, right? And we saw
I
what
have yet
happened.
to see how an egg weight fits into a boxing glove. I don't know. Maybe y'all have seen it, but I have yet to see how that
I
happens.
feel like you would break your own hand with that,
Yeah.
right?
I have
There's
yet
no
to
way.
see how
I
that
don't
would
even know.
work.
I have no idea, right? But there's people that think he didn't have the raps, even though he clearly did. I don't know, right? But
Again, break your own hand. Why would you not wrapping your hand? Break your own hand. Just saying.
and get this one. When they found out there was horsehair in the gloves, they like YouTube went crazy. They're like, horsehair? Who puts horsehair in gloves? Like, since
back in the
forever.
day.
Like,
Conspiracy theories come out.
that's right.
Absolutely.
Christine, talk to us about MVP. What's going on with MVP? Rumors of Texas and all that good stuff.
so
And when are they
there's
going to sign
rumors.
Amelia, by the way? I don't know.
Yeah, I know, right? Seriously. So there's rumors that, the next fight for Amanda and the superstars, that are signed there is going to be in May and Texas. And so this Wednesday to Friday, which I'm so blessed to be able to be a part of, they're going to be in New York and they're going to be doing some PR. So we'll get the confirmed dates and the confirmed place and some photo shoots, with all these up and coming stars. Well, some of them are stars already, but anyway, the new signees and the ones that have been there. And I really love what they're doing. I really, really love what they're doing for women. I really, really do. It makes my heart sing.
Man, Christine's getting all the love. I don't get any invites to New York. Where's my invite?
Well,
to
you
New
have
York? What's going on?
publicly said that you do not or did not watch women's boxing. You have
didn't say
publicly
that.
said that. And so
When-
people
when
don't
did I say
forget.
Where's the receipts?
No,
You did not start watching women's boxing until I introduced you to it. I'm just saying.
No. Look, there was I was a quote unquote, look, I used to be one of those boxing fans,
That part.
machistas, like
There
kind of
you
like
go.
this is for men. I don't like to see women all bloody and this, that,
Even
and
if they
third,
choose to be bloody, you don't like to see it.
But no, you're speaking too present tense here. Like this is past.
I'm just
tense, right?
saying. You know how
This is
people are. They don't
old.
forget.
This is.
He's a changed
younger.
man.
I'm a changed
Okay.
man. You know what I mean? but yeah, like obviously I've come a long way. You know, I
Yes,
cover
yes,
women's
you have.
boxing now, so
Yes, you
yeah,
have. I'm proud of you. You're doing
for
great. So
sure, for sure.
I'm gonna put in a good word for you.
That's
Definitely.
right.
But you know what? We didn't talk about. I do want to touch on this. Before we get out, is so after the Shields and Franchon
Jeez.
fight. Franchon, and I love Franchon. Like, she's great. She still seems to be upset about everything that led up. That there was a show being filmed at the weigh-ins and all of the stuff that was going on. And, she and Clarissa were friends at one time. And then now it's like we're not friends. And so there's been some slugs going back and forth. And then here recently, we had a new person introduced to this, thruple. And it's Michaela Mayer. And they're like, Clarissa said she would meet her at 63, and Mayer said, respectively, I'll box your socks off. And Clarissa says, do you know who I am? You know what I've done? No, it won't happen. But so I'm just really excited at even the possibility of those two coming together at a good weight for them both, you know, because to me, that is going to be a fucking fight. They both
Look,
can sell, and it's going to be great. And Lauren can get the
okay.
winner.
I don't think Lauren wants to go up that high, but
Well, yeah.
here's what I'll say. First of all, the Franchon Cruz Shields thing, I still don't know how that became bad blood. They used to be like sisters, and they used to
Women.
get along.
You're dealing with women.
So
Okay.
like I don't like can't y'all just fight and just get along afterwards? What's going on? Like that's what the men do. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is for the most part. But I'm reminded of those memes where like the men, it shows like the men like they fight 2 minutes later they're having a beer. You know what I mean? Women fight years later they still have a beef. I mean, it is what it is. But
We're built a little different. Sometimes it does happen, but we don't forget anything. I'm just saying.
but
Not maybe not all women are like that, but
I,
most of us.
I get that this is boxing and you know we're not covering tennis or whatever. However, I still believe in some level of professionalism and things like that. Like the what happened at the weigh-in is completely unacceptable. That cannot be happening. I don't know if the commission fined anybody. I don't know what happened, but we can't have brawls at weigh-ins. That just can't be happening. There's no reason for Franchon Cruz to jump out of the stage to go defend like family members getting attacked or vice versa. Whatever the case is, that is completely unacceptable. Again, I get it. This is boxing, but we don't need to be doing that shit.
Yeah.
The violence happens in the ring.
And there was like a whole brawl on the outside of the
Yeah.
stadium,
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't like it was just in the weigh-in area. I mean, there
No.
was like a whole fight that broke out outside too.
Yep. There was.
Yeah, I mean, I just got to say it's embarrassing. Like,
Yeah.
it's embarrassing to the sport. Like it just is. This
Yeah.
type of stuff doesn't happen at an NBA game, or you know what I mean. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it echoed kind of like what went down with Tiger.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, that was insane too.
That was horrible.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff has been happening a lot. People getting jumped, and well, what are we doing?
Yeah,
What's going
trash.
on?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is trash. It's dumpster juice. Is what
We
it is.
have to like
know?
agree to disagree, and it's okay. It's like when someone makes a prediction or analyzes something and goes for one and not the other. It's not personal. It's not because I don't like the way you do your hair or the way you look or whatever. It's like I feel like this person can outbox you, whatever, and we have to be able to respect each other's opinion. But things have gotten so personal, and it's not good for the sport.
Yeah, I guess because it brings me to a Franchon. I didn't follow the whole back and forth. By the way, I know Christine was really in the nitty gritty of it all, but
I was watching it all. I'm on.
I caught. All I caught was the one part where Franchon Cruz just said Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano didn't have to act ghetto or something like that to put on a great fight.
And that ooh Lord, that just caused the whole.
Well, I don't even know what
eruption.
Shields said after that, but like that's just telling me like what's really going on here. Like they're
Yeah.
really. I thought they squashed the beef after the fight. Like but, okay.
Franchon said that that's not what was going on. I mean, don't quote me, but from what I gathered from the tweet was that like she was saying like we are no longer friends. We are not friends. There's no.
Wait, that's what she was saying in the ring?
Yeah, that's what she stated afterwards in some of her tweets that she was making it very clear that we are no longer.
It seemed like they like cleared the air and was just like a kind of like agree to disagree, good fight. I still see, you know what I mean? It just seemed like I see you, you know, we see each other. Yeah, but then and then I saw Franchon was on like there was a podcast and she was going in a little bit and I was like, why are you trying? What is going on here? We're resurrecting this again?
Yeah.
Right.
It's dead.
Yeah.
So does this girl owe you money?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Or I think, maybe they were so close at one time that like some of those words like that were being said really stung, like going for the juggler. And it's like, okay, you said it. And maybe, in the fight game, we talk shit, but damn, maybe, I don't know.
Well, a lot of these fighters need to understand, like I get in some aspects you could be trying to sell the fight, and I think brawling outside the arena is a bit much, right? Like we don't need to be doing that to sell a fight.
No.
But but speaking about words, like not all fighters like are gonna take your words like you were just trying. They're gonna take it personal. Like if they take it personal, and to step out of boxing for a moment, it just I remember when Conor McGregor was saying a lot of things about Khabib. He was saying a lot of personal things about his religion, his father.
Yeah, he went far,
And when he started beating him up in the cage, and they caught an audio, Conor was like telling him, I was just promoting the fight. And Khabib didn't give a shit.
No.
He's like, I don't care they were just trying to sell the fight. You know what I mean?
I'm destroying you and I'm going to continue to destroy you.
Like, I took this personal. Like, we're not friends. Like, we're not like this. I wasn't trying to sell a fight with you. Yeah. So with Shields in this case, maybe she was just trying to sell a fight, but fighters will take things personal.
Sure. Absolutely.
Frazier took a lot of the things Ali said to him personal, like almost to the grave. Like he took it personal. Ali said, I was just trying to sell the fight. Frazier didn't care.
Yeah.
He said my kids were getting bullied because of things in school because of what you were saying.
Yeah, it's real life. It's real life. And there's some things that you can say and some things you should stay away from, in my opinion. But, whenever emotions are flying and, I don't know. I don't know.
Look, it's obvious that Shields wears her heart in her sleeve and all that. I get it. And she's a fighter, but... Well, man, has she made a lot of enemies? Like
Pasio said she was trying to get content for her reality TV show, and that was a thing too that Franchon had talked about. That we are friends. I thought you're like my sister, but you took it to that other extreme, and she didn't realize that she was making a reality show, and that of course the negativity and all the drama sells. So
I mean, hell, if she had told Franchon would have bought right in. Like all she had to do was pull her in the back and. Be like, hey, this is the deal. And like, here's a cut, or even if it wasn't about the money, it would have been about the views. And it's like, Franchon would have bought in. I know her. She'd been like, all right, this is what we're going to do. Let's choreograph this whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, I just, it feels, and I can understand where she was like, man, this is one-sided. And I could see that. I could see how that feels like a setup. Because again, like she's game. She would have been like, oh, bet.
I mean, just think about someone that y'all are both like y'all are close to, like somebody in your life, like a really close friend or a really close relative. And all of a sudden they come out and they're like pushing you around and talking about things that really hurt you. And then after they're like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm filming a reality show. I'm trying to like do this. Like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
So
like, how do you recover from that?
Well, I want to ask you, Amel, you as a fighter, if you're fighting somebody that not just some straight, like you know them, maybe you were in the amateurs together, whatever the case is, and they start saying some things about you, and it's not them, but they're saying these things, right? And there's no like apology before the fight, just after the fight, win, lose, or draw. Like, how are you feeling about that?
I think I would voice it. I've been, if somebody starts saying some crazy stuff, look them dead in the eye and just be like, are we really going to go here?
Yeah.
Are you opening this door? Cause, you don't get to close this. So like, there's consequences. Like I think that's
Absolutely.
like, I'm just real calm with myself. Like, it's just, I think it's the same thing. It's like, it's not personal, it's business, but don't you mess up my money,
Then
you
don't
know?
go personal. It's like if
It's
it's gonna
right.
be, keep it surfacey. Don't
Yeah,
go too deep in the personal stuff that or the buttons that are gonna get to me.
totally. Because
Keep,
I've
keep
got
it
dirt
surfacey.
on you too. You want to air the laundry? Shake it out, baby. Let's
Oh
go.
That,
So
man,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, you want to be nasty? We don't
we can
have to
be
be.
nasty. Yeah, I
Right,
agree.
right.
I
But I
agree.
mean, just, fair warning. Do you really want to open this door?
that's why I'll never
It's
beef with
not for
Christine.
me. I'm not that there's everybody's cut from a different cloth, but that's not the type of fiber I am. So it's, I'm here to elevate and
Yes.
bring everybody up too. If it
Hmm.
just doesn't, I don't like playing in the mud with people that, you know, aren't
Yep.
paying my bills.
I
So
agree. I agree
This is
100%.
why I'll never like beef with Christine. Like the skeletons will come out of the closet. You know what I mean?
she's like, I've seen them all. The doors have been
The,
opened.
the receipts, the receipts come out. Like, we know about that body buried in the middle of the desert in El
Right.
Paso. These style like what? Like
That's
what?
right.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Like you know what I mean? But man. So one more thing about this before we wrap this one. And by the way, Amelia, thank you for joining us. So we
Yes,
appreciate it.
Amelia, you're always
Um,
amazing.
Yeah, for sure. I got a
and
plug too before we go. I didn't even tell you guys I'm fighting on
100%.
March 28th. So we didn't even talk. We didn't get a chance to talk about it, but I'm fighting for the NABF title 135. So yeah,
Yay.
Yeah,
big moves.
yeah.
Yes,
Because
girl.
Bonnie
I
Hunter,
love it.
I had it ready to go before we wrapped it up. But like, for sure,
Oh,
100%.
my bad.
No, no, no,
I'm
you're good.
You're
You're
skipping
good.
this.
good.
But we're gonna talk about it anyway. So, how you feeling about the fight? And what are your plans after this? Because we know you're gonna win this fight. So what's your plans after this?
Yeah, so we were supposed to fight November 22nd on one of CES Boxing's smaller shows in Rhode Island. The whole show got canceled. There was like three of the main card that had hand injuries. I think that's what it was. So the whole show ended up getting canceled. So we didn't fight. It was going to be a fast turnaround for my October fight, and my ranking, I got bumped up in ranking in WBO. I got, still holding it with WBA.
Okay.
So it made sense. We were like, let's run this, number 2 from Canada, NABF title, and let's just keep climbing the rankings. And like, I feel great. Like this is, I've been doing a bunch of cognitive training, like reaction and rate coding stuff. And we all have to Google that for those who are watching, but those are my secrets. But so,
Love it.
just like reaction time and just everything kind of like putting those little pieces together. And it's like, every fight, it's not you, it's through you. And I want to just, keep elevating. And that's like the big thing. And, there's talk, I cannot remember the girl's name. I think she's from Sweden, but the number 1 for the WBO, we've already talked to her manager and everything. And it's like, there's a possibility for that fight. There's things that are percolating, like there's stuff that's happening in the background. So, potential that fight would only make sense if it would be a title fight. And, Katie Taylor's retiring. There's
Yes.
movement in the titles right now. So, maybe an
Right.
eliminator, maybe a title fight, who knows, later
Yeah.
on in the year, I like to really maintain focus on what I'm doing right now and not, put the cart before the horse. But it's like, there's still, you have to kind of look ahead and be like, how are these pieces going to be placed? So, there's talk of that. And then at 140, Samantha Worthington got stopped, and lost her interim title. So, possibly fighting, like looking to put a fight together against her opponent and I think was she Argentinian? If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember, but I watched that fight, and so there's possibilities out there. And so it's like, let's just keep, let's make fights happen
Absolutely.
and do the damn thing. And again, like, love what MVP is doing. There was even, a little bit of chit chat with the Stephanie Hahn and Holly Holm fight. Yeah. And Holly Holm I think she was ranked 8, she was behind me for that fight, and she got it because of publicity, and
Yeah, absolutely.
cool. But
Well, you would have beat
yeah,
Han. Sorry, D style. She would have beat
yeah,
Han.
with let's go, you know, and that's it's
Why,
kind of
why sorry D style? What's going
because
on?
I know you're like really like, and it's great. You're a big fan, and you should be because she's from your town and everything. In your but Amelia can box and she can punch.
I got a little flavor of everything. But
Yes,
yeah, I mean I want that fight, you know,
I
and it's
want
like
it too.
yeah, I would absolutely love that. And so
Let's go, Han.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a couple huge possibilities on the horizon. So it's just like I think that, you know, NABF, it's that continental, it's this, you know, interim title, and but it puts you in the mix with the WBC too. So, you know, and you get that world ranking, and I think that that's the plan. Like let's make it so that they can't, you know, just 3 fights. Well, yeah, just 3 fights and I'm world ranked. So
Right,
let's
right.
keep strategically
When
moving and taking progressive fights so that, you know, now we're ranked top 5 in 3 commissions.
Absolutely. I
look,
love
look,
it.
look, if a lot of girls with, especially with really good amateur backgrounds, they're ready to go after a couple of fights, and we
Hell
see that.
yeah. I wanted my
Uh,
first my pro debut to be 6 rounds, you know, and
okay.
there's a few like Rashida Ellis did it, you know, and I
Yep,
was like,
yep.
damn you. Like that was
I
my
know, right?
idea. You know?
Like, damn. You know what I mean?
Steal my stuff.
I thought you were gonna say I wanted my first fight to be a world title. Like, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
I talked to somebody else and I was like, man, I think Clarissa did it in 7. I'm like, let's do it in 4. And then,
Yeah,
you know, I said that a year and a half ago, and then I'm like, oh, it's possible.
it
Like,
is possible.
it's my
yeah, it
4th fight's going to
is.
be an interim title. It could be my 5th. Who knows?
Yep.
Somebody make that call.
What about that Elif Turhan girl? Like, is that a fight you'd be interested in?
Wait, is that the Turkish girl?
Yes.
Yeah. that's
Okay.
right.
I mean, everybody's talking about her strength. She didn't look
She
great in her
looks so.
last fight. I
Yeah, she
also
didn't.
think that she's not a technical fighter. She's
No.
got a great gas tank. I think she's a heavy hitter. But what the hell, Beatrice Fiera? Since when do you just stand in front of people? I've watched you fight so
Exactly.
many
Oh my God,
times
I was
on
shocked.
the World Championships. Rashida Ellis, they had one of the most amazing finals fights.
Amazing.
I've watched Bia
In,
fight on
in
so
Turkey.
many,
Yes.
yeah, so many different platforms. You know,
Something was
through
wrong.
my amateur career, and it was like she was hard on being like,
Yeah.
I'm tough, you know?
Yes.
No, like, yes, you are, but
But
you've
use your
never
brain.
stood in front of somebody. So I think that the Turkish girl, it's like, yes, I mean, that was an opportunity to make a name for yourself, but also looking at an athlete that is doing some stuff that they've never done before. Like, were you too cocky? Did you
Yes.
undervalue her
That's what I was
strength or
thinking.
potential? Because you should
Yes.
never undercut
Never.
anybody. Everybody's
Anybody.
dangerous. You let them be. So yeah, I mean, that's names that's come up a couple times too, and it's I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna toot Amelia's horn because I have
Toot toot.
been so blessed to be able to work with amazing men and women, you know, our national champions, you know, our team, USA team. And Amelia is definitely in her weight class and even beyond her weight class, one of the heaviest hitters, and she can box. I mean, I'm telling you. So,
Got a
Turkey
good
girl,
jab too.
where you at? Yeah, because I would put my money on Amelia. I would. And yes, Beatrice, we've seen her do some fucking crazy shit. But I agree with you. She was like too tough for her own good. She was not being smart. She was trying to prove something.
Yeah.
And that's what got her in trouble. You never underestimate anyone. You stick to what you know. You box and punch, you know, and it would have been a different fight, in my opinion, if she would have done that.
1000%. Yeah.
Turhan, the Turkish girl, she fought Taylor Jensen in her last fight, and
Yeah.
And it was a split decision, right?
yeah, and
Yeah.
like Taylor Jensen, she was in Australian, amateur team, and I
Yes.
thought she was a good enough boxer. Like,
Yeah.
I was pretty confident. I don't know if she was going to win or not, but I knew it would go the distance. But they had crazy odds. Like the Turkish girl was supposed to knock her out in 2-3 rounds, and
Yeah.
all this other crazy stuff. So she definitely had a lot of hype after that Beatrice win, for sure.
Yeah.
She
I mean,
was-
because
Absolutely.
Beatrice
Because
being a
everybody knows who Beatrice
multi-time,
is and what she's
Yeah.
done.
multi-time international world
Yes.
medalist, multi-time
Absolutely.
Olympian,
Yes.
so it kind of makes sense why the odds were kind of inflated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, whenever you're on top, you always have to remember there's somebody at your heels. You can never get comfortable. You can never be so sure. You have to continue to grow and continue to do what you know to do. You cannot just sit there and be stagnant. And I think that's what happened. And it's a hard lesson to learn. And I hope that she, did learn something from that.
So look, obviously I'm sure you expect this from yourself to get that W late March, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Hopefully, bigger, better things sooner. I think you're ready. Christine thinks you're ready. So
Absolutely.
why not? You know what I mean? You think you're ready, most importantly. So
Eat, sleep, breathe, boxing. Let's go.
let's go. Let's go. I just wanted to talk about this one last thing about Shields. I might sound crazy saying this. Like it is what
He was
it-
like, I can't sleep tonight if I don't get this out.
I gotta get it out.
like look, I actually think so. If they're gonna fight at 163, right?
Yeah.
I actually
Seems crazy
think,
to me. I'm just gonna say that.
I actually think Michaela Mayer could win that fight. I think she could win that fight. Mayer would be the best fighter Shields has ever fought. And this is no disrespect to those girls in those higher weight classes. I'm not
I
that
do
impressed
agree
with most
with
of
you
them.
there.
And not all of them. There were some good ones. Like Perkins is good. Marshall is good. However, I think Mayer would be the most versatile, best fighter she's fought to date. And obviously, the same is true the other way around. I get that. But I think Mayer has proven she could fight really good on the inside, really good at mid range. She could box on the outside. She's long. She's got the stature and everything to do it. If I'm not mistaken, is she taller than Shields?
Yeah,
Yeah, and
Yeah,
she has a
right.
great team behind her too. She does have great
and
coach,
she's got
great
she's got
conditioning, nutritionist.
100%. She's got that nutritionist, you know what I mean? So, and I think that's not a fight. That's not going to be some cakewalk for Shield. If Shield makes it look like a cakewalk, hey, by all means, I just don't think it is.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Mayer would win. I'm saying she could win that fight. I think she could put it together. I think she could win 6 of those 10 rounds.
I mean, that's even saying that if Clarissa can even make the weight. And I think that Clarissa's mind's a steel trap, right? Like once something goes in, like that's it, you know?
Yeah. I agree.
Hella determined. But when was the last time? And it's 163. It's a catch weight. Is that what you said that they
Yes.
are calling for?
Catch weight. Yes, 163.
So,
yes.
I mean, she fought 165 in the amateurs. When was the last time that she even fought that low? She's been at heavy, super heavy. And I mean, she's got so much cake in the trunk. It looks like a BBL and people are paying thousands of dollars.
Right.
It's just like, how do you get weight off like that when it's that's how your body is structured? I don't know. I think that's the question. Like, can Clarissa even make the weight, and how long would that even take?
A lot of muscle. A lot of it
so
is
much muscle.
Yeah.
She did fight at 155 in June of 2023.
Okay.
That's the last time. Now, obviously, that's almost 3 years, and she's put that extra. Like, they made the heavyweight division. All of a sudden, Clarissa just, she got that, like you said, the junk in the trunk. So, but she's gonna have to, I guess, like hire Navarrete nutritionist. And,
it's a nutritionist. It's gonna be a whole bunch of juice cleanses. I don't know. Cucumber juice.
Work her way down. A little bit.
I mean, are you gonna take fights to kind of pick away at the weight? I think that's my biggest question. Is like, Michaela make a great fight, but can you even make the weight?
Exactly. Yeah, she's going to have to get the second best nutritionist, because we all know that Michaela Mayer has the best in Vital,
I wonder how they came up with, like, why 163, why not 162 or 164? It's just like a random number.
Clarissa threw it out there. She was the one that threw it out
I think she know, like it is kind of a red flag that, okay, that means you can't make 160, right? Like it's because if you thought you could make 160, that's the middleweight division, right? So I think can Mayer win this fight, Christine?
Okay, hold on. This is crazy. I just thought about this. They both have the same nutritionist. This is crazy.
They both with perfecting.
Yeah, but now they're Vital.
Well,
they're Vital now.
Shields.
They just changed their names to Vital.
Okay.
Shield needs it more to lose that trunk. So like I
They
guess
both
it is what
have
it
the
is.
same. Yes, that is going to be interesting.
Mayor could call Navarrete's nutritionist, and we got it.
She would not.
They're gonna have to bring extra staff
Neither
on
one of them are
and
going
sign
to
an
switch.
NDA.
Yes, this
Hey,
is going to be
that's gonna
Expand
be the
their
beef.
interesting.
The beef is gonna be about the nutritionist.
Wow. Yes. Oh my gosh. Because they're
Someone's gonna
family.
feel betrayed.
They're family. Literally. Whenever you're that close, to your people, to your team, it's family.
Has someone ever been the nutritionist for two fighters that are fighting each other?
I'm sure,
Can
but
you
right off
trust
the
that
top of my head,
nutritionist?
if you have somebody like perfecting athletes / vital that are now vital, yes, absolutely.
Okay, all right, they're good
Yeah.
then. Amelia, would you trust somebody as a nutritionist? If they were also a nutritionist for your opponent.
Why not? I mean, I'm a certified sports nutritionist myself, so
All right. Well,
listen, it doesn't matter. Like I would still be like, I'd be like checking over things, be like,
Yeah.
you know,
Wait,
I
what is
mean,
this?
yeah, we're buddy, and I'm paying you, but I'm also,
Yeah.
I'm in the driver's seat. We talked about that.
Driver's seat.
Why you
That's
have all
right.
this sugar in my
What?
diet? Hold on.
Really pull out my white girl card. Is that gluten? It's like
This is like this is where like the conspiracy start. You know what I mean? Like, why do you feel so good? Well, I don't know. That nutritionist. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
They look good.
yeah,
I get it.
little sprinkle in there.
Yes.
That's right.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna be stressed now if this fight happens.
So look,
Sabotage.
it's been a great show. Thank you once
Yes.
again, Amelia. And
Yes,
give us
Amelia.
any final words and all that before we roll out.
Yeah. Just excited for March 28th, fighting North Shore Theater in Beverly, Massachusetts. It's going to be live on Swerve. We're working on seeing if DAZN wants to pick it up too. So it's going to be rebroadcasted on NESN, which is the New England Sports Network, which, Red Sox, Celtics, all those guys. It's a New England promotion. So kind of just getting that out there. I'm excited. I'm doing a bunch of work with my with people in my town. We're gonna get a bus. We're trying to rally the whole hometown crowd to get them down from Maine all the way down to Boston, or Beverly, just north of Boston, for the fight. So yeah, tune in. I'm gonna have a bunch of information. My website's updated. You can get tickets there. You can find the stream link on my website, millionmoreboxing.com. All of my stuff's in my link tree. In my bio for Instagram. So if you're trying to find it, you'll find it. So
right.
yeah, tune in and just ahead of time. Thanks for your support, guys. And thank you for having me on and let me just yap it up with you.
Oh,
For
it's
sure.
always a pleasure.
It was
Always a
great
pleasure.
having you on. That is the show. Shout out
Yes.
to everybody who tuned in. We are out of here.
Peace.
Peace.